So what is neurodiversity? Is it just something that helps describe autistic people? Why is it so hard to understand? Answers to these questions and more coming right up. Neurodiversity is a much newer model of thought and is usually attributed to the people on the autism spectrum. We're still figuring it out because there's no manual or Bible that goes along with it. So today I'm going to share a little bit about how I feel about it and what I know about neurodiversity as a neurodiverse person. And please keep in mind that I am not speaking on behalf of all neurodiverse people here. Like the saying kind of paraphrased goes, if you've met one neurodivergent person, you've met one neurodivergent person. There's the traditional medical model that sees differences in brains as diseases, disabilities, something that needs to be treated and perhaps even cured. And then we have neurodiversity, which takes a much broader view of what normal, and I use quotation marks there for a reason, what normal is for a brain and for humanity at large. Like Elizabeth Winkletter said in her TED Talk, and I'm paraphrasing here, and I will definitely link her TED Talk in the description below. There are many variations of brains, including autistic ones, that should be accepted as natural and valuable in our human genetic legacy. Neurodiversity is a much newer model of thought and is usually attributed to the people on the autism spectrum. It's actually born in the disabled social justice movement. I think neurodiversity is any difference in a person's brain or how they see and connect to the world. People with mental illness, such as bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, anxiety, depression, PTSD, all are neurodiverse people. People living with nervous system conditions such as multiple sclerosis or chronic fatigue syndrome aren't necessarily neurotypical. Put any of us in a PET scanner, one of the most advanced tools that we have for imaging our brains right now, and all of us would light up differently than a typical person. I don't mean to downplay the challenges that come with having a neurodiverse brain. The movement itself is not anti-treatment or anti-therapy, and I'm not either. I think some of those things can be wildly important for a person's quality of life. I aim to play to our individual strengths and help those of us who are neurodiverse have more authentic, happier, and healthier relationships with the people around us and the people that we love. Medical diagnoses and the medical model itself is very useful for giving us labels and for providing somewhat of a roadmap for treatment in either direction of someone who has a neurodiverse mind. But it's not enough, and sometimes it can severely limit what a neurodiverse person can help contribute to the world. Some of us who identify as not neurotypical identify as disabled, and some of us do not. Neurodiverse is who we are as individuals, and it also allows us to be part of a much broader group of people who experience the world differently. At our cores, we're all human, neurotypical or not, and we all deserve to go after what it is that we think a full and happy life is. It's important to note that some people who identify as neurodiverse are not diagnosed, or they are self-diagnosed. Some don't have resources to be formally diagnosed, or some may not want to have to deal with some of the other things that come with having a diagnosis of that kind. You don't need a specific diagnosis, in my opinion, to consider yourself neurodiverse. Your uniqueness is valuable. Your atypical view of the world is valuable. You are valuable. We're different. We're not less. You have a home right here in the neurodiverse community. It's April time. It's April prequel time. Hi, honey. So we would love to know in the comments below, what's one of your favorite parts of having a neurodivergent brain? I know for me, one of my favorite parts is my intense love of learning. We're so thankful that you joined us for this video. We're looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Remember to hit that subscribe button.